What rules were put in place because of you? Hey friend, please take 2 seconds to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy these videos. I post new videos every single day. No sign language during silent lunch punishment. My lunch period was so loud, we got put on silent lunch for over a month straight. I decided the only clear solution was to teach my entire table sign language, so we could still talk without getting in trouble. Apparently it was unfair to the kids who didn't know how to sign, so we had to stop. That seems like something your school should have encouraged. A friend of mine, in a military school, found out the regs never stated what color the bed sheets, for a bed made for inspection, had to be in. So, this madman went and bought Power Ranger sheets, and made the perfect regulation bed. I have never seen so many sergeants lose their shit, but be unable to do anything, since the regs were perfectly followed. Needless to say, the next year they were updated to state sheets must be plain white. Effing with your sergeant is a risky play. Back in the day, a radio station had a weekly trivia contest. The prize was a free pizza and movie rental. Somehow, my mom figured out which book they were using for the trivia questions. She bought it and memorized all the answers. Each week, we would call in immediately. Sometimes we were the first, but even if we weren't, it didn't matter, because other people were usually just guessing. We won almost every time. Even though we changed up who would actually make the call, they eventually figured out we were all from the same household. So, they made it a rule you couldn't win if your family had already won in the last month or whatever. Up till then, we enjoyed a lot of free pizzas. My brother and I got into a cattle prod sword fight at a farm store. We shocked the hell out of each other a few times, and now they are locked up. We were in our 30s. You fight like a dairy farmer. How appropriate. You fight like a cow. Get zapped with cattle prod. I put a croissant in one of those hotel toasters. It soon became engulfed in flames and needed extinguishing. Next day at breakfast, they made a sign that said, "If you'd like your croissant toasted, please ask a member of staff." How? If it's the kind of toaster I'm thinking of, the croissant gets stuck when it reaches the back, and the belt continues to move. Stuck soft bread catches on fire quickly in the back of the toaster. Edit. I worked at a restaurant that uses these toasters. Our croissants were always very soft and flaky. We would unstick them with our long bread knives. Can confirm. Worked at a famous bread company cafe, and a customer demanded her croissant, the last one, go through the toaster. So, we watched it heat up, and burst into flames together, but only one of us laughed. I got our HR box taken away at work, because the HR lady threatened not to pay us if we missed a clock in or clock out. In our defense, the phones didn't always work, and the clock-in system was really unreliable, and I printed out the law stating that was illegal, highlighted it, and put it in her box. When no one was around, she threw an unholy fit, and tried to figure out who put it in her box, and from then on, everything had to be handed in personally. LOL. She sounds like the worst kind of HR person honestly, like she should darn well know that's illegal. Finally, I get to add a personal story to Reddit. When I was walking home from school, I had to walk next to the road to get to my house. I decided to see if I could walk with my eyes closed. I didn't feel the transition from gravel to road, and the cars didn't honk at me, as they made a line, because they thought I was deaf. I heard a noise, looked back, and ran off the street into an orchard. 2 weeks later, they put up, "Deaf Child Area," signs on both sides of the road I live on. This entire thread is, r/kids are effing stupid, material, but this one really takes the cake. Like, why are children always making decisions that could get them killed? For fun. LMAO. LOL. To be fair, this was the worst decision I've ever made. Been doing much better since. At a ballpark I worked concessions at, they had an all-you-can-eat promo day, where tickets were more expensive than usual. Big concessions around the stadium were free, excluding alcohol. So, I worked that day, and of course it was chaos. But when the line started dying down later in the game, they started sending some of the hourly employees home, myself included. But of course, I didn't go home. After I clocked out, I stayed in the stadium and got some cheeseburgers and Philly steak and soda. and found an empty seat in the crowd for the last few innings. Next year, same promo, but new rule for staff. If you get sent home early, you have to actually leave the stadium. Boo, you work concessions, the one free day a year, you deserve it the most. In middle school, I would use Sharpies to tattoo myself. Other kids thought it was cool, so I started charging $1 per drawing, wherever they wanted. Principal found out, and after I wouldn't stop, she put a ban on Sharpies for the entire school. Even the teachers couldn't bring them in. I'm a tattoo artist now. I bet you did a ton of that cool S-letter thing that every middle schooler is obsessed with drawing. My younger brother was always late to school, small school, and was tardy. He figured out, if he just skipped first period and went to second, he was counted as being at school, and no late penalty, because he was at second period on time. They changed this the following year. People really need to look at what behavior the rules are encouraging. I did something similar. 5 minutes late equals absent. So if I was 5 minutes late, I just wouldn't go. Missed a lot of school. I had a soccer coach who would make the whole team run if one of us was late to practice. So my teammates and I made a rule that if you were going to be late, you wouldn't come. Coach caught on eventually. We confessed, and no more running if one of us was late. No typewriters in class. I was kind of a shit kid, and while my school allowed us to use laptops, I would play video games, primarily Warcraft 3, in class. No sound or anything, so I wasn't being a complete nuisance, but I wasn't doing my work. A teacher told me I couldn't use my laptop. I happened to have a 1950s Remington Typewriter, portable, all mechanical typewriter. It was anything but quiet, with all of the taka ding you'd expect from a typewriter. After one full day of studiously taking notes and doing my assignments via typewriter, my teacher said I could use my laptop, as long as I didn't bring the typewriter to class. That is aggressively following the rules. r/malicious compliance. In history class in high school, there was about 10 of us really close friends. We would take every opportunity to make "your mom" jokes. A couple months into class, the teacher made us sign a treaty, promising to stop making fun of each other's moms. We signed it, and started making fun of each other's dads. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Local amusement park added a "no blindfolds on roller coasters" rule, because of me. When I was in middle school, my friend and I thought it would enhance the overall experience if we blindfolded ourselves on the biggest roller coaster at a local amusement park. We got one of those pictures they take on the ride, and there we are, blindfolded in the middle of a tunnel, having the time of our lives. Looking back, we easily could have strangled ourselves, or worse, because we literally just used scarves tied around our heads. Next year, we went back to the same roller coaster, and they had added a "no blindfolds or loose accessories" to the list of rules before the ride. I mean, you could also just close your eyes, but points for style. It's been 15 years, and this thought has literally never crossed my mind once. Went straight to the blindfolds.